Guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Chelsea Chameleon, and I am back with another video. I did not think I would be back so soon to talk about another SHINee concert, another major SHINee concert tour event, but alas, we are here. As you can tell from the title, we are here to talk about TAEMIN at Coachella. What? I literally was like, last night was not real. There's no way that TAEMIN is on the freaking Coachella lineup, but he is. It is real, you guys. If y'all don't know, as a Shawol, we have had to fight for our lives to even get SHINee to come back here to do KCON, to do anything, and now we've had multiple SHINee solo tours, and now TAEMIN at Coachella, which is arguably the biggest music festival in the USA. That is like so crazy, and I'm so proud of him. I have been wanting something like this for him for years. I've been wanting something like this for SHINee for years, but especially for TAEMIN. He is the ace, the only ace, in my opinion, the best male soloist in K-pop, and I think he deserves this so much, you guys. I can literally talk about how proud and how happy I am for him and just for SHINee this year for hours, but obviously this video is not about that. This video is about Coachella, TAEMIN at Coachella. This video is going to be all about how you can see him if you are a Shawol or a TAEMIN or just love TAEMIN and want to see him at literally the biggest music festival like ever. I'm going to be talking about a lot of things, information, the passes, tickets, shuttles, camping, hotels, everything. A little disclaimer, I have never been to Coachella. Never been. And before you guys ask, am I going to Coachella? Maybe. We'll see. I am planning. I am contacting people. I have been in talks with multiple people, and we'll see. I am not 100% sure yet. Y'all know SHINee are my ult of ults, if you literally cannot tell from the background here. So I don't like missing like major like SHINee tours or concerts, and I did miss Key at KCON as well as TAEMIN at KCON last year. I did see TAEMIN for KCON in 2023, but Coachella is really big and insane. I mentioned this on Twitter, but I mentioned that I had a feeling that I would be getting dragged to Coachella next year because I was in talks with a friend that I met at the ATEEZ concert, and this person goes to Coachella a lot. And they made Coachella a little bit more like reachable, realistic for me, and we had like a long discussion. I asked her a lot of questions, and I'm like, we'll see. And I literally joked with her. I literally joked, like, I wish I had it on like video, but I joked with her multiple times. If SHINee's going, if TAEMIN is going, I am going to go. And of course, now we have the announcement that TAEMIN is freaking going to Coachella. I literally feel so insane right now, but we are going to go ahead and get into it. Like my other SHINee like ticketing tour tip videos, I'm going to try to have timestamps or chapters in this video so you guys can like know like what to look for and like where to go. A little disclaimer, I have never been to Coachella, so I might be spreading misinformation. Obviously, I'll try not to. This video and everything that I'm going to be talking about is based on my personal research as well as information from a group chat that I'm in, as well as I have a contact and a friend who has been to Coachella multiple times. Also, this is based on me like lurking on the website as well as watching multiple Coachella TikToks and vlogs throughout the years. So all the information that I've gathered is based on that. Obviously, feel free to do your own research, but again, I've never been to Coachella, so I don't know everything. I don't know the ins and outs. If I do go, obviously it would be my first time experiencing Coachella as well, and honestly, TAEMIN performing at what would be my first Coachella is iconic, so I'm very happy. I wrote down multiple pages, so as you can tell, I have a lot to cover for this video, so sorry if I'm going to be looking at my paper a lot. Also, again, I've never been to Coachella, so I am not familiar with Coachella's game, so again, I'm going to be reading my notes a lot, but hopefully I'll try to make eye contact with you guys. Grab a drink, grab a snack. I have a huge cup of coffee, and let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, first we're going to go into the overview of what is Coachella and the general information. First of all, what is Coachella? Coachella is a major music festival in California. It happens on 2 weekends in April, I believe the second and third weekend of April. It spans across 3 different days, Friday through Sunday, and it has major and small artists. Obviously the main attraction is the music and the performances, but they also have like art exhibitions, they have like other parties, they have other like installations and other activities for people to do, but that is the main attraction, obviously, are the music performances. Where is Coachella? Coachella is in Indio, California. I know a lot of people think maybe it's in like Palm Springs, but Indio is technically a separate city. It is near Palm Springs. A lot of people do associate Coachella with Palm Springs, but from my research, it's in Indio, California. It's a separate city, and it is on a desert. It's a huge like park desert area, and basically that's where they have all the performances and campsites and activities. When is Coachella? Coachella spans across 2 weekends in April of next year in 2026. The first weekend is going to be April 10th through the 12th, and then the second weekend is going to be April 17th through the 19th. How do I buy tickets to Coachella? You have to buy tickets through AXS, and you have to have an AXS Coachella fan account, and I will get more into that later. Technically the tickets are called passes, but I'm going to get into that later on in the video. What are the ticket types? There are going to be 4 different ticket types for Coachella, and they are per weekend, so for all 3 days. And the first one is going to be general admission for either weekend 1 or weekend 2. The second one is general admission plus your 3-day shuttle pass for weekend 1 or for weekend 2. The third one is going to be a general admission 4-pack, so essentially just 4 passes for the 3-day weekend, so basically a pass for 4 different people. And the final one is a VIP pass. How do I get to and from the festival? There's going to be 4 different ways that you can get to and from the festival. Obviously there might be other ways as well, but these are the 4 main ways. First one is going to be through a shuttle or a shuttle pass. The second one is going to be through Uber or rideshare. The third one is going to be park and ride. Basically you are using your own car, parking at a certain location, and then either getting an Uber or a shuttle to the actual festival. And the fourth one is actually new. It's called the LAX shuttle, and more information about that will be coming soon. And basically the summary is you would fly into LA, and then you would get a shuttle from LAX to Coachella, so probably about a 3-hour bus ride, and you will be able to get to the festival that way. The next thing we're going to be talking about is honestly the most important, and that is how to buy your tickets, aka your Coachella passes or your Coachella wristband. The main website where you get all your information and ticketing info is coachella.com/passes. I will put it right here, and I will also link it down below as always. The first thing you need to know, especially if you're a SHAWOL or a TAEMIN, is that you do not need any type of membership, Shiny Roll membership, TAEMIN membership. There's no pre-sale or like membership pre-sale, obviously with like Key or with ONU. You don't need any type of membership to get tickets or to get a Coachella pass. There's no extra pre-sale or discount or anything like that. You basically just have to use the general Coachella website. And so if you have the membership, it won't really apply if you want to see TAEMIN at Coachella. Passes go on sale this Friday on September 19th at 11 a.m. PST or Pacific time, and as always I will put the conversions right here to help you guys out. 11 a.m. PST is going to be 1 p.m. Central time, which is my time, and then if you live on Eastern time, that's going to be 2 p.m. Obviously if you live in other countries, you will have to do your own time conversion, and again, if you want to do your own time conversion, that is going to be worldtimebuddy.com. That is the site that I use when I want to do my time conversions. Alright, this part is very important. If you want to increase your chances greatly of getting a pass for Coachella, you have to register for access. If you guys have ticketed for a K-pop concert, it's basically like registering for the pre-sale, although there is no actual pre-sale for Coachella, just a regular sale. But basically you just have to register or sign up, and that way you can get text and email updates. According to Coachella, you should receive or get a code to access the ticketing either on Thursday evening or on Friday morning, which is the day of the sales. And again, the link is on coachella.com/passes, and sign up for text and emails. I think I'm going to put a screenshot right here of when I signed up for the emails and text alerts, because I believe that's how you're going to receive your code, because I'm pretty sure once you actually access the tickets, they're going to ask you for a code. Again, Coachella is arguably the biggest music festival, so the demand is very high for tickets. A lot of things actually are sold out right now, such as like hotels and Airbnbs. So if you want to ensure getting tickets that you want, you need to register before the actual sale. However, if you do see this video late, you might have a chance of getting tickets, but you might have to be in a queue or wait a long time, or the tickets that you want might be sold out. So it's best to register to ensure your chances of actually getting a Coachella pass. All right, moving on, we're going to be talking about the pass types as well as the prices. And for all of these passes, they are per weekend and the prices vary per weekend. So the price won't be the same for weekend 1 as it is for weekend 2. All right, moving on to the first pass is GA or general admission. And for weekend 1, that is going to be $649. And for weekend 2, that is going to be $549. And the reason why weekend 2 usually is lower is because a lot of people obviously want to see the first performances and the first like dibs of everything for weekend 1, so the demand is a lot higher, so they're going to be charging a lot more. The second type of pass is GA with a 3-day shuttle pass, and I'm going to be talking about the shuttles in a little bit, but basically that gives you a 3-day shuttle pass to and from the festival. And for weekend 1, that is going to be $779, and for weekend 2, that is going to be $679. The third type of pass is the GA 4-pack, and for weekend 1, that is going to be $639, and for weekend 2 is going to be $539. And to explain the 4-pack, it is not like 4 weekends or like 2 weekends back to back. It's basically just 4 GA tickets in a pack, and the only perk to this is that you get a $10 discount for each price. So obviously for the regular GA, if you only buy like 1 or 2 tickets, it's going to be either $500 or $649. But if you buy 4, they will be $539 or $639, but that price is times 4, obviously, because you're buying 4 of them. So it's not like you get all 4 for $539 or $639. You are paying $539, $539, $539, and $539. So honestly, in my opinion, it's not really much of a deal unless you just really want to save like $10 per pass. But it is good if you're going with like 3 other people. It's just best to like buy it all together. So it helps with that, but in my opinion, it's not really worth it. And the last type of pass is VIP. For weekend 1 is going to be $1,299, and for weekend 2 is going to be $1,199. And this obviously gives you entry to the festival as well as access to VIP areas. Again, I've never been to Coachella. I don't know what really VIP entails, but I'm assuming you get a nicer view, like a better view to the stages, as well as like maybe access to better restrooms, maybe lockers, stuff like that. You also might get like food passes or discounts, something like that. VIP also does not have anything to do with like lodging, accommodations, transportation, or shuttles. It's just VIP for the actual like festival. And for all these passes, there are payment plans available starting at $49 down, and then all passes can visit the GA camping areas. And again, I'm going to be getting into camping for Coachella. Coachella camping is a big thing, and so I'm going to get into camping in a little bit. All right, the next thing we're going to be talking about are the shuttles, and this is for if you aren't camping on Coachella grounds, if you're staying at a hotel or Airbnb, and if you don't want to do Uber or rideshare to your hotel or Airbnb, you can pay for a 3-day shuttle pass for the weekend, and that will take you to and from the festival at designated times. Price for the shuttle is $150 for the whole weekend per person. The website does have a list of stops for the shuttle. Most of them are hotels or resorts near Coachella. So if you're bringing your own car and you don't want to actually park at Coachella, you could stop at a park and ride location, and basically you could park there and then catch the shuttle, but you would still have to pay for the shuttle pass to get you to and from the festival. Shuttle also drops you off right at one of the main locations, so you don't have to like really walk that far to get to the actual festival, because again, the campgrounds, the festival grounds are really big, so the shuttle is a great way so you don't have to walk as far. Because I'm assuming if you are driving there, like driving to the actual parking spots, it's still going to be a pretty far walk, but the shuttle will get you a little bit closer to the actual festival. There is going to be a shuttle schedule, and that is TBA for 2026, so we don't have the actual schedule of like pickup and drop off times, but they will release that next year, I'm assuming. And then passes are not transferable, so I can't like give this shuttle pass to my friend if I decide to like skip the festival one day, but like they want to go and they want a shuttle. They are not transferable. They say treat it like cash, so if you lose it or forfeit it, you forfeit it. So that is one thing to note. All right, the next thing we're going to be talking about is accommodations for Coachella, and the main things I'm going to be talking about is camping and hotels. I'm not really going to be talking about Airbnbs because it's kind of up to you. If you want to book an Airbnb, it's kind of like an individual, like group situation, but camping and hotels are a lot more structured for Coachella, so I'm going to talk about that. All right, the first thing I'm going to be talking about is camping at Coachella, and basically you are going to be staying on festival grounds instead of leaving for a hotel or Airbnb. And with camping, you camp with a car and or a tent, and you have a dedicated reserved spot for the whole weekend. This is really beneficial if you want to stay close to the festival or you don't want to pay for an Airbnb or hotel, and if you want to kind of save money depending on your situation. There are a lot of camping options. I'm not going to go into every single one because honestly you could just kind of look through on the website, but the TLDR is that they range from basic camping, so basically just your car and a tent, to luxury. So like glamping is basically like in an enclosed space, basically like a hotel but on Coachella grounds. In a second I'm going to go over some of the options, but again, basic to luxury depending on your price range and how comfortable you want to be. I do want to know, if you want to go for the more basic options, you do, like the passes, have to register to sign up for access to that. Camping is a very popular option for accommodations at Coachella, so spots fill up quickly, so they make people register to try to help them ensure a camping spot. In general, there are 6 types of camping situations or campsites for Coachella. The first one is going to be a basic one vehicle camping situation. Basically, you bring your car, you set up, you supply your own power, your own food, resources, you bring your own tent, all your own supplies, and you and however many people you want have that dedicated spot, and you camp there for Coachella. The next thing is group car camping, and you have a minimum of 10 spots or 10 cars and a maximum of 20 spots or 20 cars. And basically this is good for really big groups, and you all want to have like your cars together is what I understand from the website. So basically if you have a group of 20 people who are all going to Coachella and each of you have a car and you split it between 2 people, you all can get like a dedicated like area and have like a whole like camp area for group car camping. This is really good if you're going in a big group. Obviously if you're only going with like 1 or 2 other people, or if you're going by yourself, you do not need group car camping. Third one I combined, but basically it's preferred car camping, and the 2 types is either preferred front row or just car camping preferred. And basically all this is that you get a preferred spot closer to the entrance of Coachella instead of maybe like being really far. I've heard that you can still maybe walk a mile just to get to the entrance of Coachella if you have a very far camping spot. So basically for this, you're just paying more to be closer to the actual entrance. And for front row, basically you're going to be in the front row instead of maybe like the 2nd or 3rd or 5th row. The 4th one is going to be powered car camping. Basically it's camping, but you have a dedicated actual reserved power outlet and a power source provided by Coachella. And with powered car camping, you do get a dedicated power outlet, you get an extension cord for your devices, and you also get upgraded showers and restrooms. Camping, obviously they do have dedicated showers and restrooms, but again, they're kind of like a free-for-all, so they may not be as like nice or clean, or you might have to wait. I've seen videos of people waiting like an hour to shower in line, so I believe that you get a quicker shower and better showers if you do pay for the powered car camping. The 5th one is ready set camping, and basically with this package it comes with a tent provided by Coachella, as well as like sleeping bags and like other like basic like sleeping camp supplies. So basically if you don't have a tent or if you don't want to bring one, Coachella will provide one for you and you don't have to sleep in your car necessarily. And the final type of camping is luxury camping, and I'm not going to go into detail about this at all because honestly most people don't do this from what I've heard unless you are just like rich. There are 3 main types. The first one is La Campagna, the second one is Lake El Dorado, and the third one is Safari. And basically it is glamping. If you've never heard of glamping, it's basically like a really luxury tent. The tent has power, it has like an actual bed, maybe, you know, like a fridge, maybe like a cooking station. Sometimes they have like porta potties or like bathrooms inside the tent or like nearby. So it's very luxury camping. If you go on Airbnb and like look up like Airbnbs in like Tennessee, Georgia, California, there are so many like glamping Airbnbs. It's essentially like that, but on the Coachella grounds. Camping, in my opinion, is one of the best options of accommodations for Coachella, and something if I do go, I probably will end up doing with a friend or 2. However, there are a lot of things that you need to consider before you camp, and this is actually on Coachella's website as well. They have a list of all the rules and like size requirements, etc. So I'm going to have, again, the link down below, but I just took away some major points that I want to talk about here. The first one is obviously you have to have a festival pass. You cannot just buy a camping pass and then just walk into the festival. The camping passes, the camping spot is reserved and separate from the actual Coachella festival. The second one is that you cannot camp with an RV or a mobile home. This was news to me. So basically you cannot camp with anything with a toilet or running water. Even if the toilet does not work, they said you cannot have it. So basically you just have to bring a basic car, and again, you will be using the campsite showers and the restrooms, or you could possibly bring your own like portable toilet, but it cannot be attached and inside the vehicle. Basically just no RV or motorhome. You cannot drive the vehicle that you are reserving for camping in and out of the festival. So it must stay there, it must stay parked there. So you can't set up camp and then be like, oh, let me break this down and go drive to Walmart. No, you have to have that vehicle stay there. Obviously, you can maybe bring multiple vehicles and like have like one vehicle at like the Coachella parking lot to go in and out. But that vehicle that you are using for camping, you cannot basically leave once you have like checked in. The size for the car camping is 10 by 30. I have no idea how big that is, but I'm assuming it has to be at least the size of an SUV, maybe a little bit bigger. Usually the campsites that I've seen, they do have a pretty good amount of room outside of the car for like a tent or something, so do with that what you will. And the last thing to note is that there is no limit on the amount of people in your car campsite. However, there is a limit of 1 car per purchase spot. So you can't just buy like one purchase spot and have 2 cars. You would have to buy 2 separate spots, and then y'all can split like 20 people if you wanted, or you could just have 20 people in 1 car, but obviously that probably won't work. That's why they do have a group car camping option. So if you do have 20 people in your party, maybe y'all can split this between like 5 or 6 or maybe even 10 cars, but again, you can only have 1 car per purchased spot. All right, the next thing I'm going to quickly go over are the hotel packages, and they, like the passes, are separated by weekend 1 and weekend 2, and they are also separated like the passes by GA or VIP. And the pricing is a little bit tricky to understand because it's not like a typical hotel at like another place. They are priced per person per night based on 4 people. I have an example here. One of the hotels at Coachella is the Omni Rancho, and the price is $606 per person per night, which is crazy. And usually these hotel packages include that Thursday through Monday. So you check in Thursday and you check out Monday. So if you want to stay at the Omni Rancho, whether it's 1 person or it's 4 people, like they're assuming, it's going to be $3,640. So that's an example of the hotel packages. The good thing about the hotel packages is that the festival pass or your wristband and the shuttle pass to get to and from the festival and your hotel, they are included in the hotel package. So you don't have to worry about buying it separately. And for the hotel packages, just like the wristbands, payment plans are available. So this is a great option if you do want to stay near but not stay on festival grounds through camping. However, it is expensive. And again, it's not like, oh, I'm paying like $90 a night and you could have, if you wanted to, it may not be super legal or moral, but you could have like maybe 20 people at a hotel like for a regular concert. That's definitely happened before. I've seen it happen. But for here, they are automatically assuming that 4 people are going to be in the hotel. So you can't be like, well, I'm only having 2 people, so can it be like $300 per night instead of $600? Like for my example, no. They're assuming 4 people are already going to be in the hotel, and they're pricing it at that price. All right, the last thing I'm going to be talking about are tips for Coachella. Again, I've never been to Coachella, so take these tips with a grain of salt or as you will. But these are tips that I've gathered, again, from talking to friends, from my group chats, from doing my own personal research, and again, watching lots of Coachella vlogs on YouTube and TikTok. First tip is obviously travel in a group or find others to split the cost. If you traveled alone at Coachella, it would be, honestly, in my opinion, very impossible and very expensive. I think most people travel in a group at Coachella. I've seen people go to Coachella alone, but they are on a different level, okay? So I highly suggest, especially as a K-pop stan, if you've never been to like a festival, I highly suggest that you travel in a group. And this kind of brings me on to the second tip. You need to budget for Coachella, okay? 70% of Coachella costs are outside of the actual like pass or wristband costs and accommodations. A lot of it is the food. If you do camp, you have to split the car rental costs. You have to split the supplies cost, because obviously you guys will be needing like maybe a generator or a power outlet, or if you do pay for like the powered car camping, you're going to have to split that cost. If you want to buy merch or have a locker, and side note, I didn't talk about lockers because I feel like it wasn't really relevant. This is like if you just actually want to be able to like get in the door to Coachella. Obviously, once you get there, and maybe if I do end up going to Coachella, I will talk about more like what to bring, what to pack. But if you do want to get a locker, that's going to be a cost. If you do want to bring your own car, there are so many costs outside of like just the hotel, Airbnb, and the actual concert ticket, essentially. So you have to budget. And again, I believe it's best to budget if you are budgeting in a group or if you're going with someone else. Speaking of going in groups, I am in a SHAWOLS group chat on Twitter or X, and I do suggest that you join group chats. There might be group chats also on Instagram or TikTok, but I would try to link the post from Diamond Sky Cafe. They are one of the major Shiny fan bases here in the US, and I believe they are based in California, and they have a whole group chat on Twitter. I believe there's also a Google document where people can like find roommates to help split costs for things, or festival buddies. So I will link that down below if I can. I believe you do have to reply to the thread or reply to the post to be added to the group chat. But if not, you can maybe like DM them, or you can DM me. I am in the group chat now, so I might be able to add other people. But if not, definitely reply to that post and they should be able to add you. Definitely travel in a group if you can, and also budget. The third tip is decide on where you want to fly in from. Obviously, if you're from California, you don't really have to worry about this. But if like me, you're from Tennessee, the flights are really expensive, and sometimes they do get jacked up, obviously after the festival is announced and after the lineup is announced. So you need to decide where you want to fly in from. This might be misinformation, but from what I've heard, Palm Springs is the closest airport to Coachella, but it is very expensive to fly into. There are some other airports. I believe there's one in Burbank. There's one with an O name. I don't know all of the airports. I'm not from California, but there are other airports that you can fly into as well. Also, you can just fly into LA and either drive, or you can either catch a train or a bus. That is actually something that I might be considering because it's really cheap for me to fly to LA. But obviously I would still have to get to Indio or like Palm Springs at least. So I might end up flying to LA and then getting a Greyhound or Amtrak. It is like way cheaper to do that instead of flying. So you can also do that. And again, they are going to be doing this LAX shuttle thing. So basically if you are from LA or flying into LA, you could get a shuttle bus to Coachella or to like the surrounding area. So again, they're going to be having more information on that very soon, and when they do, I will update you guys. But yes, decide on where you want to fly in from if you are flying into Coachella or if you aren't from California. The fourth thing is to research accommodations based on how comfortable you are. I had a friend that I talked to about camping, and she was like,
no way, there's no way I'm not camping. That's not my life. I don't do that.
and I'm like, period, queen. Hold your boundaries, hold your standards. So I would do personal research. Again, I watched vlogs, so I know an idea of what camping looks like. And again, I've also talked to a friend who has camped multiple years at Coachella, so I do have a pretty good idea of like camping versus like hotel versus Airbnb. And once you decide on your accommodations, that will determine whether you need a rental car or whether you just want to do the shuttle. Because obviously if you do a hotel, you don't need a rental car unless you're driving into the city. But if you do camping, obviously you're going to have a rental car, or if you're driving, you're going to have to bring your own car. So the transportation depends on the accommodation. So yeah, research the accommodations, ask your friends what they're comfortable with, because again, some people don't want to camp, some people want to, some people just want to do a hotel, some people don't want to do a shuttle. It just depends on what everyone is comfortable with. So do your research. I suggest watching vlogs, talking to people, again, joining this Chinese group chat because they have people who've either went to Coachella or know a lot of things about Coachella. So do your research. Number 5, the most important thing, register for the passes, and also for camping if you do decide to camp. Again, a lot of this stuff sells out and a lot of things are limited. So you need to register before the actual sale on Friday to ensure that you actually have a good chance of getting a wristband or a good camping spot that you want. And last little tip, this is a little side note, and I will get more into this if I do decide to go to Coachella and make update like what to bring, what to pack video. But guys, this is Coachella, right? I know it's not a K-pop concert necessarily, but you can bring anything you want, guys. You can bring a light stick, you can bring a slogan, you can bring your photo cards. I did have people I saw online, and I think someone in my DMs asked me like, oh, can I bring my light stick? Yes, you can bring your light stick. If I go, I'm 100% bringing my TAEMIN light stick, my shiny light stick, my TAEMIN slogan, some TAEMIN photo cards, 100%, okay? Like, of course, y'all know I'm gonna be bringing everything. The only caveat that I do have if you bring this stuff It is a desert, you guys, and it is going to be super, super hot. If you want to be close, you might be waiting all day, or you might not have time or space to like store stuff in a locker if you do want to get a good spot. So you might have to have all this stuff on you. So I would either pack light or obviously plan what to pack. And again, since it is really hot and a desert, and it is a festival, there's going to be people pushing, shoving, it's going to be crowded. There is a high chance of your stuff being damaged or broken. So just be wary. If you do want to take K-pop stuff, you're more than welcome to. I don't think Coachella has many limits. Obviously, I know at like a regular stadium or a concert, they have like bag limit sizes. I don't think Coachella has any of that. I think you could bring backpacks. Obviously, they will be checking them, but you can bring backpacks, cameras, slogans, light sticks, tripods, all that type of stuff into Coachella. But again, they probably will check your bag. But yeah, you could definitely be a K-pop stan and bring your light stick, because I know I definitely am. Especially for TAEMIN and for the K-pop acts, you want to show that you're there for them, okay? So definitely bring your photo cards, all your K-pop stuff, whatever you want. All right, you guys, I gotta go, but hopefully I covered the general information about Coachella, how to see TAEMIN at Coachella, and I hope you guys get the tickets or the passes and the hotels, the campsites, whatever that you plan to do. I hope you guys get that. Again, I am not 100% sure if I'm going to Coachella. I am strongly considering it, but I will let you guys know, obviously, if I do see TAEMIN at Coachella. And if I do see TAEMIN at Coachella, I'm going to be making all the content, okay? I will be making an update video. Once again, I will make like a what to pack, what to bring, pack with me's, all that stuff. And obviously, we're going to vlog. So yes, I will definitely be making an update if I do go. I'm also going to have all the links down below, the links for the passes, the sale info, hotel packages, the shuttle passes and information, as well as the link to the group chat on Twitter for SHAWOLS. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. DM me on TikTok. I'm also going to be making a TikTok video as well. DM me, message me, comment down below if you have any questions, or if you want updates to something. I will try to update you and answer your question as much as possible. Again, I've never been to Coachella, so even if I don't have an answer, I will definitely ask someone else and then try to answer your question. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, good luck if you are buying tickets on Friday. Again, so proud of TAEMIN. I cannot believe he's performing at the biggest music festival in the US. And y'all, he's doing this with no payola, no promo, no new album out. Nothing, okay? Just pure talent and perfection, okay? And I am so proud of him. I just cannot believe that this year as a Shawol has been this surreal, from where we got our first shiny solo tour in the US to getting the same guy at freaking Coachella. Like, what? Anyways, I'm actually gonna go now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Follow me on all of my social medias. I will link them down below as well. And I will see you guys in the next video. Stay colorful. Bye-bye. And I don't have a TAEMIN photo card near me. However, I do have Hongjoong. And obviously, if you guys know, ATEEZ went to Coachella, what, last year or the year before last? So we're gonna end it with Hongjoong, our captain, our Coachella captain. Bye, guys. Ooh.